What obstacles have you faced in your career, and how have you dealt with dealing with those?
Especially coming from a music video background and wanting to push the envelope as an African American, anytime you want to try to step out the box, I feel like it's not taken serious.
Right.
Like, can we execute? And we've come across that, you know, several times. Other great directors like Michel Gondry, or like, you know, because they're maybe French or because they're not black, oh, well, it's gonna be awesome, but like, why can't mine be awesome
It
too?
was funny how, I'm sorry, cut you off. It was funny how Stan Lathan, who was a great black director, seen the Through the Wire video that we did, and when he met us, he was like, man, I thought you guys were white. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why?
Who puts that stigma? Do we put that stigma on ourselves as a society? Put that on us?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's part of what I'm saying. It's a very tough thing. Like, what came first? You know, chicken or the egg?
I can honestly tell you, I've never walked into a meeting thinking, oh, I'm the black person coming in for this position. I come in as I'm the artist, I'm the writer, and I'm qualified for this position. I leave whatever blackness is with me in that meeting comes from them, not from me.
Well, see, I can't necessarily always say the same thing. My thing is, all things being equal, I'm gonna come in there and make sure I'm representing just like anybody else that came in this room. And the fact that I'm a black man, that's some extra sprinkle for you. And that's gonna make this that much hotter. That, you know, that's gonna make what I bring to this that much, you know, that much better, right? I look at it as added value.
Bring that with your art?
Absolutely, but sometimes I guess to kind of go where Chike was going is that it's like, I see it as something that can actually work for you.
Yeah.
And if you carry yourself and bring that to the table as an asset and added value, I think that transfers. And I think that, you know, people will agree to that and buy into that.
You know, you're talking about it a little, to a certain extent, about protecting yourself from the burden of expectation, whether they be
high or low.
High or low. How do you protect yourself in this game? How do you protect yourself, Lisa, in your dream, as it were?
I think every artist, just the definition alone is that you're going to hear no a lot. And you have to take the no as something that inspires you to just keep moving forward. You have to have a belief in yourself, don't you think? So you have to believe that you have a space in this universe to do this kind of thing. You know, my career has had ups and downs, and when I think about what else I would possibly do, I can't think of anything else. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I know I'm supposed to do it.
And that power really comes from within.
And right, exactly. So that keeps me focused no matter how hard it is, no matter how many no's I hear. When the yes comes, I go, see, this is why I do it, because I know this opportunity is here, this is what I'm supposed to do.
How do you inspire people, Coodie, when it comes to the advice that you give them, or how they pursue their dreams? How do you inspire people to fulfill their dreams?
Well, I think I inspire people mainly just being myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can conceive and believe, you can achieve. So I try to inspire by speaking and being myself, period.
Lisa, you're a teacher as well, among other things. You're obviously an accomplished writer. You've produced some things. How do you advise people? How do you inspire people to?
I mean, it's a really tough thing in this business to inspire other people to get in and do what you do, because you know how hard it is. And especially when you're inspiring young people, you want them to have an easier path than you do, I think. So I let them also know that you have a unique voice. You have a unique perspective. You know, cultivate that.